The Bachelor Nation is very dedicated, but also can be crazy.
Yeah.
And they say some wild things.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, at least someone who's been covering the show for so long, the younger couples, when they didn't get married right away, they would all just get infiltrated with like, they're not serious because you're not getting married, you're not this or that. I don't know if you've gotten that before. Have you gotten that? But like, what is your message to that? Like, we're just having fun, leave us alone.
All the time, I get it so much. And I feel like I owe Bachelor something because I want people to actually see that this was successful and that you can find love later in life, and you can actually find love on a show. Lots of us do, and there's lots of very successful Bachelor couples out there. Just because they don't all succeed doesn't mean it's not possible and that people aren't there for the right reasons. Like I was just in Punta Cana with like Charity and Dotton. I mean, they haven't gotten married yet. They hear about it all the time. We have the same thing, and I think it's important that people recognize that it's a very weird journey that you go on when you do Bachelor, and that you kind of take a leap of faith right at the end. Like, I think this is my person. I'm not positive. I have not lived with them in the outside world. I haven't seen how they treat waiters and waitresses or service personnel. I haven't seen how they interact with my family. I haven't seen a lot of things, or how they get along with my friends. So you're taking a leap of faith, and then you go out and you start dating them.
Right.
And that dating takes a little bit of time. So like Chock and I are in that part of it. Like it's been great every second of it, and it's maybe solidified our relationship more and more, made that leap of faith seem like we absolutely did the right thing. So we will get married, but we are not ready to plan a wedding yet. We're still just like, I'm meeting his friends, he's meeting my friends. We're spending time getting to know each other even more. So there's no rush. I don't have a biological clock. I'm over that. I have 4 kids. I'm done. And so
that helps, right? That takes out part of it.
It does. It takes out a whole element of it. And like, we're not dying to like build a house together. We both have homes. And, like, we have all those things that we're not worried about doing. We're just having fun being together. So, you know, I want to say, like, let us be together.
Let Chock and Joan have fun.
Let's just have fun and date and just have a good time, and we will get married. I just don't know when yet.
Well, speaking of those Bachelor couples, you guys were at Grant's finale. How was that? Was it as intense as it seemed watching it at home with some of that Grant and Latia stuff? Yeah,
you know, kind of surprising. You know, I didn't know how intense it was with Latia. So you don't see all the interactions, but she certainly spoke about them at the finale, and I was like, whew. Yeah, I felt like kind of blindsided. And, but you know, when you go on this journey, you all know what you're signing up for. And, you know, emotions do get pretty intense. And so I'm not surprised that Grant fell for both of them. They're kind of different girls. And I think that both of them were pretty incredible people, and I'm sure that was a really, really hard decision for him. But yeah, I felt like she was very blindsided. My heart went out to her. But I mean, even she says that he made the right decision. So like in the long run, he knew what he was doing. He knew where his heart was and who was best for him. And it just is hard. I mean, you know, there's a lot of heartbreak on the show, and it happens all through through the season. It was always something I was super conscious of, that I didn't want anybody leaving the show feeling bad. Right. So I wanted to make sure everybody felt like their time. You know, they had a lot of great relationships, the men in the house. That was a really like cathartic thing for them, and they got to have, like, they called it their group therapy, like every day with each other. So I think there's a part of this that I was just an auxiliary part of that whole journey, that like maybe they're going to find love, but boy, they found each other. They found friends. So I think that my show happened to be particularly less heartbreaking. But I do think, Joan, that credit to you a little bit, because I remember talking to you about this. You were very conscious of the words you were using, the I love you, the this. And I mean, I can't tell you how many Bachelors that then the next year they go, okay, don't say what I did, and then they just do it anyway. And I understand they're in the moment, and it makes for good TV for us. But that seems to be one of the things. If you save the I love you, that at least gives you something that's like, I saved this for you. I saved it. And true, because I think that in the long run, like, if you say I love you to more than one person, then the person that you ended up choosing, we're like, well, you were in love with all these people. Like it's not as impactful, or it doesn't mean as much, or maybe it could even cause some angst in the relationship, because you're like, well, how have you resolved your feelings for those people you just said a week ago that you love both of them? So I think it's hard. I was very, very, very conscious of not saying I love you, and I didn't even say it. I said it on the beach while he was proposing. I waited till then, and I made that commitment to myself, but I really did it not really for me. I did it for the other men. The ones that I didn't end up with, I didn't want it to be more painful. Like the least pain that you can possibly cause in this, in this journey. the least heartbreak that you can cause was what I needed to do.
Well, that's what a franchise lead knows how to do. But then we do have Grant happy with Juliana now.
Yes.
They seem to be living their best life on TikTok and Instagram and Boston. I know that he told me that he spoke to you before the season. You gave him a little bit of advice.
Yeah.
Have you talked to him at all, or did you congratulate them at the finale?
Of course I did, yeah. And I got to know her family. I happened to ride over to the finale with them. So, and I kind of, he didn't have, after the finale, you have like no time to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
It was like a quick congratulations. But I did talk to her family.
Okay.
And they said, any advice for us? Actually, Chock and I both did. We were in the Sprinter van on the way over with them and on the way back. And we said, social media is going to be brutal. That everybody's very judgmental, and they were along with this, on this journey with them, and they all have these ideas in their head, and just don't read it. Just let them, and make sure you tell them not to read it. Let them be, they need to make sure that their couple is strong before you take in all this outside noise, because it'll destroy you.
You are the go-to for Bachelor advice, because I don't know if you heard Gerry on Bachelor Happy Hour, he said he reached out to you for advice to tell Teresa about his new girlfriend.
That is true.
I mean, Joan, you're a wise woman.
I forgot about that. We were at the hotel.
He gave you credit. He was like, what do I do? And he was like,
really
Joan, help me.
sweet.
What did you tell him?
I told him that he probably needed to tell Teresa that her finding out in on social media or something isn't great. And it's not like that they have
there's
no like love loss there. They're fine. They are both very happy in their lives, and they did the right thing. They did what was right for them, and I respect that completely. They didn't drag this on and try to make it work. They knew where their hearts were, and they both, stepped away. And good for Gerry. He found somebody.
Yeah.
But I also thought, it might be hard for her having,
of course.
maybe anybody that's been engaged to somebody else, that's a surprise.
Yeah.
When, they have a new relationship. I said, call her, tell her.
Yeah.
I think you should reach out to her.
And he did just that. And he said, Joan told me to do that.
Oh, my God. I didn't know he actually did it.
Yeah,
I'm
he
so
followed
glad for
through.
him.
Yes.
And she's a lovely person, and I'm sure she's really happy for him.
How was it like hearing Gerry talk about finding love?
Finding love. He was really cute about it. I always knew that he wanted somebody in his life, and I almost feel like it's a little bit of a man thing. And I hate to say that, 'cause that sounds really bad, but I feel like they need a woman.
Right.
They need that loving.
More caretaking.
The caretaking. And he's a very independent guy, and he's totally fine on his own. He has these awesome kids, and they're married, and his grandkids. But I felt that sense that he really needed somebody in his life, that he wanted to love again, and he had a lot of love to give. And I think he dove into this really quickly, but I think it's a great relationship. From what I can tell, she's phenomenal. They talked really important things, his cancer and important stuff they already have talked about, and she is all on board, and she's like, whatever years I have with you are perfect, and they've talked really long term.
They did a Bachelor kind of type quick relationship.
They dove in, and I'm so hoping for him that it works because she sounds pretty amazing. He's a great guy.
Would you ever double date with?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
I love it. I love Gerry. Gerry and I became very, very good friends after the show.
Yeah.
And he's one of my favorite people. I love Gerry, and I hope that this works out for him, because I think he really wants to be in love.
That's what we need cameras for. A little just double date. Or you mentioned they can show Charity and Dotton in there too. We can have you guys just
we go out with them all the time.
Try restaurants or something, and we can all watch. That's a TV show that I would watch.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of advice, I mean, we have some Goldens heading to paradise.
Yes, so am I.
We know Leslie is going. Have you spoken to Leslie about this decision of hers?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? Do we have someone we think she would be a good match for?
Oh, Jesus. So I've been trying to make love connections since the finale, when I was allowed to talk to the men again.
Yes.
So I've been trying to make love connections. They're very hard to make because everybody is all over the United States. So I haven't been super successful.
Okay.
I've made 3, and none of them have worked.
Okay, but that was
it's not my fault.
No, it's not your fault.
They're too far away.
Good intentions.
Yeah, but I think paradise could be the catalyst that we need. We need everybody together, because I know all the Bachelor men, I know all the Bachelorette women.
You're the only one who actually knows everyone.
I know everybody,
right.
And I think that them meeting in person is important.
Right.
I think me trying to intervene and make the logistics of them meeting, in their faraway places happen is too hard. So I think paradise Paradise could work.
Paradise could work.
I'm praying. Well, I don't know everybody's going.
Right.
I only know Leslie and Gerry are
Right.
going.
Yes.
I have inklings of who is probably going, but I think that there could be some matches, and if it's not, it's going to be good TV because it's going to be fun to watch them interact because they are all like they didn't get on this show by not having any personality.
Very important to remember. This is a TV show, and they were cast because they want love, but also because we want to watch them on TV for whatever reason.
Because they can give, they can emote, they can they are entertaining people because they have personalities and they have life. And that's the whole thing about Golden is we've lived a lot of life. So we, I think the reason that we don't have all of the infighting is because they don't need it.
Right.
We have plenty of stories. There's a lot to talk about. We don't need to have drama.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of other stuff that we've had in our
We're too
life.
busy crying and then laughing because we go from, I feel like Golden was a big, like, it was such a tearjerker. One minute you're laughing, the next minute you were crying because you were laughing. Crying because you're laughing so hard. Like, vice versa. There was just always
they're
tears.
snoring on the couch and they're acting like old people and then they're doing cannonballs in the pool.
Yes, exactly. We're at a dance and we're crying over a prom date, but then we're like laughing at the actual dancing. It was such a fun journey to watch, as you know. If you were, obviously you are with Chock, but say something had not worked out and they asked you to go to Golden, would that be something you would have ever considered in a very hypothetical world?
So go on the show again. Oh boy.
Like not even thinking like, okay, now what happened? Like if like you never were the Golden Bachelorette and they were like now
casting, again, and
deciding to do this, they went a different direction at the first time and now they were doing this. What do you think you would have said?
I would do it because I believe in the process. Yeah. And like what a great treat. They vet all these people for you, so everybody that's going, like they think has a chance and has a reason for being there. And also the relationships outside of the single relationship with you trying to make a go at it with the main person, you have all of these other people that are in the room with you that you are kind of like your tribe. So when I first was on Golden Bachelor, I walked into that room and there were 21 other people that were like in their 60s and 70s and like we're alone in the world. They didn't have, and I say alone in the world, which is a terrible thing to say because I have an amazing family and friends, but when it comes to having your one special person, like, that's a different relationship, and all these people got that. They were, the ninth person at the table for the wedding, and they were not invited on the couple's vacations. All your friends you see are in, in Hawaii, and you're in Rockville because they didn't think of you because you weren't a couple. So all of a sudden you're in this like different, you're on like singles island. And you...
Paradise, if you will.
Paradise sometimes.
Yeah, just kidding.
Yes, but it's a little different because they're not pairing you up. So all of a sudden you're kind of alone. So I had these 21 other women that I finally could had someone to talk to about this. And I saw how they were doing it and how they were living.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like if there's confusion and they haven't confirmed it yet, so obviously we don't know, but no one knows if they're going to be mingling with the traditional Bachelor, Bachelorette contestants and the Goldens.
Yeah.
I want it all in one place where everyone can do their own thing, but maybe, get together for a happy hour, see what happens. I don't know. Do you have a prediction?
I think they're going to put them all together.
Okay.
Or at least they're going to be interactions. Probably not in general. For first of all, you have all the beautiful young people in bathing suits, hanging out on the beach, looking gorgeous. And then, if I was out there, I'd be like, I'm not going to stand out here in a bathing suit on TV all day. And I don't think the other women and men
a very good
also
point.
don't want to do that. So I think there's going to have to be some separate interactions. Like they need to be beautiful in like their little bikinis.
We love the Goldens. They're beautiful too, but I know what you mean.
But we probably going to be wearing our cover-ups. So I think the interactions need to be a little different. And I think they should come together like maybe in the evening for happy hour. And I also think that there is an opportunity where the Goldens can maybe give advice to youngers, that are trying to figure out their love.